we've gotten to the point where media darling, comedian, and deeply entrenched in Hollywood liberal Democrat and TDS sufferer Bill Maher, when he starts agreeing with the red pill, you know it's gone far enough that even the left thinks the left has a problem. If you're unfamiliar with Bill Maher, he's been on TV for 40 years. From his Wikipedia, William Maher, born in 1956, is an American comedian, writer, producer, political commentator, actor, television host. He's known for the HBO political talk show Real Time with Bill Maher, 2003 until currently, and he had a similar late-night show called Politically Incorrect from 93 to 2002, originally on Comedy Central and later on ABC. Ironically, he got canceled for that because he said something they didn't like. And every once in a while, I'm not going to say he's full-on TDS. Well, he is full TDS. But he every once in a while, he comes out and he says something, what I would call normal. But in a case like this, he's kind of gone completely based because even he is realizing now women are completely insufferable. They're undateable. Their standards are ridiculous. And as long as feminism and these women align with, well, ironically, Democrats, that's going to be a losing ticket for the Democrat Party. Well, Bill Maher came out and on his Real Time with Bill Maher YouTube channel here, he took a clip of his show and he put it up. And this is just a couple days ago. And it's got almost creeping up on 750,000 views on it. And he comes out and basically says, yep, these guys, now he doesn't say it in these words, but he is admitting these guys that talk about women being undateable, unreasonable, and generally crazy, he kind of comes out and admits we're right. So let's hear it from leftist and TDS sufferer Bill Maher, what he thinks about the ladies.
Now, if you didn't see it, well, first of all, you. It's absolutely the best dating show with love and blind in the title. But here's what happened. The bride, an impressive, attractive nurse named Sarah Carton, walked out on her dream wedding to sales consultant Ben Mazenga. They were at the altar, all dressed up, almost to the part where they eat cake and do the electric slide. When Sarah broke the news to her man that she just couldn't go through with it. Had he cheated on her? Used her? Was he a folk-singing Irish vampire? No, it was because of Black Lives Matter. Because if there's one thing we know about the young liberal women of today, it's that they are very, very high in their standards about everything. And Ben, well, he had not done the work on this issue.
Now, before I play this clip, I did a video on this several weeks ago, and so I'm not going to rehash the whole thing, but this woman and this guy, they dated, and his political take on all of this stuff was, I don't put a lot of thought into it. Like I go to my job, I do my thing, I come home, I don't really care. I'm not against it. I don't care. I got other things to worry about. And because he hadn't, quote unquote, done the work, she decided to dump him literally at the altar. Now, of course, yes, he dodged a relatively large caliber round going past his head. But the truth still stands. She broke it up because he wasn't enough of an activist.
When I asked him about it, he was like, I guess I've never really thought too much about it.
And that's when Sarah realized she'd rather die alone.
Now, of course, this feminist has to shake her head saying, no, that's not true at all. But actually, yes, it kind of is now.
Because love isn't blind, it's woke. Well, now, to be fair to Sarah, it wasn't just Black Lives Matter. Ben also didn't have much to say about the vaccine. Oh, and his position on trans was basically, I don't know, I guess. Sarah's sister is gay, and when she told that to Ben, Ben said he had, quote, no discomfort around that community at all. Not good enough, Ben! I think what you meant to say is, yeah, I fucking love it. Let me tell you, folks, if the standards on the left are going to be this high and politics is going to be this much of a cock block, we're never going to win elections or have any more babies. This inclination from certain liberals to always and immediately excommunicate instead of communicate is what makes them so unlikable. And I'm sorry, Sarah, to make you the poster child for this, but come on. I mean, look at this stiff. What'd you expect?
Now, of course, he has to continue to pander to the left by making fun of the guy that she disagreed with. And I don't know if he's much of a stiff. He looks like a normal average guy to me, but he is right. When early on, let me just pull this back here a second, because he started this whole spiel with the Chiron down here at the bottom, the purity wing. When I was younger, it was, let me get this back to where we were. When I was younger, conservatism was very much kind of a thing, meaning that I disagreed a lot with a lot of the media and the standards of conservatives, because they were the ones that were kind of trying to cancel things. They were very against certain language and music. They were against certain movies. Now, granted, yes, it was the left that jumped in on the certain music is satanic and all that stuff with that fear. But that there were religious groups that were out to get Dungeons and Dragons because it had succubi and it had what else? Demons and evil creatures in it, and it was going to warp the mind of children. So back when I was young, it was definitely the Bible-thumping religious types that wanted to take away many of our freedoms. And they wanted us to kind of follow along in these cultural purity steps, as it were. But now it's come full circle to where it's the left. And instead of using, religion, traditional religion, as the purity test, now they use cancel culture and politically correctness, or political correctness, I guess you'd say. Culture, political correctness, and DEI, and feminism, and LGBT. These are the new, original things that you need to believe in, because we all suffer from original sin of, most of us at least, being white and male. And so we must jump on trend with this. But if we don't, that's it. We're out. It's over with. And so when the politics do move their way into the dating circles, unless you're all the way in on the same stuff that the feminists are, I think this is a growing trend. And I think more and more of them will ostracize themselves, hopefully, from the dating circles and society by being so freaking weird.
Okay, you're a much better person than he is. You win. And by win, I mean lose. Christ, first we couldn't date people who had opposite political beliefs. Now we can't even date them if they have no opinion at all. It's enough to make you lose faith in finding true love on a reality streaming series. If you're going to eliminate every 20-something who hasn't thought a lot about politics, you're going to be working from a smaller pool than roadies with no leg tattoos. Ben didn't say, I have thought about Black Lives Matter and I'm with Derek Chauvin. No. He said, I'm young and dumb and full of fantasy football stats. Could we just talk about it? I'm sorry, I'm not up to the part of my life yet where I give a shit about the issues.
Now, one thing that he's right on, and I think this is from women being given an easy life by men. I genuinely mean that. When women today are coddled and they're pampered and they're supported and they're hired based on the fact that they're women or they have skin color or they're part of the LGBT community, when men who loved their women traditionally in the past, not that men don't still love women, but I mean men that loved women invented the dishwasher, invented the laundry machine, invented microwaves. They invented things to make the women they love. They invented things to make their lives easier. And so women's lives got easier. And what did women do with this newfound time? They decided, well, I guess we want to be like men. We'll go get jobs. We'll make our own money so we can be independent of men and we don't need them anymore.
But maybe Ben hasn't turned his life over to being a social justice warrior yet because he's preoccupied with trying to get his life going. Possibly because he's worried about having the means to support the woman he thought he was going to marry, who seems rather demanding and particular. Which is kind of how it is these days. Did you know that on Bumble, only 15% of the women are willing to date a man under 5'8"? Wow. Women, they're like roller coasters now. You must be this tall to ride them.
Something that's interesting here, I noticed this woman throughout the whole thing is just giving him, now she has a wedding ring on, whether she's married to a man or a woman, I don't know. I don't know who this woman is. But I do know this, she's not clapped, she's not smiled, she's not had any humor in this. Women say not to shame other women because of their weight or their bodies because it's out of their control. But when a guy says, well, look, I'm 5'8", there's nothing I wish I was 5'8", that's still taller than me. But when a guy says, well, I'm 5'8", I can't do anything about that, women just shrug their shoulders and say preferences. But when a guy says, okay, I want something slightly smaller than a fat hippo, he's ostracized and called names. It's the double standard, as it always is. But when it gets to the point, again, where Bill notices this, we're all the way in. We're all in. And I've joked about this before, but I think I genuinely mean it. When my channels first started out, when a lot of men's channels first started out 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago, we got banned, many of us, off YouTube or demonetized. Today, what was interesting, and oh my gosh, I can't believe he says this, and how dare you follow a channel like his, which I've heard from many supporters over the years, has turned into, yeah, it's no big deal. Everybody talks about this, from Bill Maher to Russell Brand to Joe Rogan to Matt Walsh to Piers Morgan to sometimes things on TV, national TV. The red pill and the anti-feminism message is pretty loud and clear. We have succeeded in many ways of getting the message out there so much that it's now part of culture, to where even people on HBO and TV are talking about it. Fox News has done segments on this with Jesse Waters. We're winning. Now, we're not winning relationships. We're not winning back women. Women are still falling to the wayside. But the message being out there and young men being aware of how things are today, that's all over the place. Young men today, Gen Z, makes up a third of X's or Twitter's audience, driven by authenticity, free speech, and memes. The young men of today are becoming extremely based. That's good. It means it's such a proliferation of culture that it's now the norm that young men know how crazy women are. I mean, it's all you could ask for.
And that's not all. The guy must also have a nice car and make over $100K a year. Okay, but you know, how many 6'2" Grand Prix drivers are there? I know you've all been told that you can have it all, and you're a queen and a lady boss and that bitch. But maybe your judgy ass is no prize either. And if you...
A good reaction from the audience. Now remember, Bill Maher's audience mostly leans quite heavily left. If not, liberal is kind of it's a worthless word today, because you're pretty much either on the left or the right now to some degree. But many of them agree with him in his political views and otherwise. And you can hear pretty loud applause here. They agree. You're not so great either, women, so maybe get off your high horses and stop judging so much.
And if you jilt a guy for not thinking enough about Black Lives Matter, just tell me this. What have you actually done that made any more of a difference in any black life than what your inadequate ex-fiancé did? I asked Senator Adam Schiff here last week when the subject of Trump's sliding poll numbers came up. Okay, but how are the Democrats going to blow it this time? This is how. Posturing, purity tests, the politics of I unfriend you if you're not exactly with me 1,000%. Barack Obama used to preach that the perfect is the enemy of the good. Yeah, it's also the enemy of getting laid.
I don't know if the women just keep going down into a rabbit hole, but when left-leaning men, and Bill's a 69-year-old unmarried guy, he doesn't have any kids, he still enjoys dating younger single women. When even he's starting to say, hey, you girls are having some problems, man, you got to get it together, I think you know how bad it's getting. As always, guys, if you do like my work, make sure to jump over to betterbachelor.locals.com if you're on YouTube, or if you are on Rumble, hit the join button down below. $5 a month, you can come on over and check out a great community of like-minded men. We talk politics, we talk getting off grid, we talk pets and dogs and life and all the good things, and we watch movies on Saturday nights, we watch football on Sundays, we watch UFC sometimes on Saturday night. We have a good time. So make sure to come on over, check it out. I think you'll like it. It's $5 a month just to have a nice little paywall so I can show the content I show without getting in trouble with anybody. And join a group of great guys, like-minded men like yourselves. All right, guys, I'll leave it there. We'll see you in the next one.